Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Road to 100k Fivers series where we're trying to pass a 100k high stakes challenge and documenting every single trade. Now, there was actually one trade that I took this month and I'm really excited to talk to you guys about it. There were a couple pending orders I set as well, but unfortunately I wasn't quite tagged into those positions. If you're interested in doing a 5% challenge as well, alongside me, I'm going to put a link to Fivers down below. Now, if you aren't already comfortable, sit back, grab a snack, and let's go over some trades. So month 4 is June of 2025, and I nearly didn't take any trades again. By week 3, there were no positions that I'd set a pending order for or anything at all, nothing like that. But the last week was really active, and it's actually the week I've got on screen above me right now. And there were 2 pending orders I set on AU alone. So this last week has been pretty active, and I think a lot of people need to understand that trading is a waiting game. You know, you are spending most of your time waiting for opportunities, and that's exactly what I've been doing, as if you've been watching this series. So we'll get straight into the trades. AU, I was really loving the price action on AU this week, and I'm a little bit annoyed that I didn't get the opportunity to get involved because I got the direction right. So larger scale, we've got this descending from last week, and it ended with this large V. So already I'm very confident that price is going to reverse. We broke this major high and we got this range. So we've got 2 elements of really high probability price action here, because we've got this where we've broken this high and then we've got this larger descending, and we've also got this. So that's 2 huge elements that tell me price is wanting to go to the upside. Within this range, because I was very confident that we were going to reverse, we kind of got this little descending where we broke this low and retraced, and then we broke this low and retraced. So at this point, I was very confident that we were going to get this push up. If I was trading sweeps, maybe I'd look for sweeps under this level, but what I decided to do was this. And if you're on the Zentum call, you would have seen that I set my pending order live. I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot to set my pending order during the call. So there was this reversal here. Now this is quite an unorthodox reversal. I think normally people think of the reversal entries that I trade as really clear descending and a really clear shift in momentum. Now for me, well, you're probably not seeing much of a descending here at all, but as I described, prior price action is what's important. We're using our entries as vehicles to get into high probability price action, and at this point, I'm super confident that we're going to reverse. We've obviously got the higher time frame structure I described, but we've also got this lower time frame structure where we're sweeping this low, we've got this little reversal, and I'm just using our reversal entry as an opportunity, as a way of getting into this really high probability price action. So I set my order right here. I think I used a 10 pip stop because it looked quite reasonable, and unfortunately I was not tagged in. And after this candle, I removed my order because I felt like this showed a bit of weakness. Obviously, we ended up continuing, and I was thinking, such a shame that didn't tag me in. But this kind of confirmed, like this price action here now confirms, yes, we are absolutely going to move higher. I was very confident in that. So at this point, I was looking for continuations, flags, anything. Even with this wick, I was so confident the price was going to reverse because higher time frame structure was so bullish and so high probability. So at this point, I was looking for a flag. Then we got this candle, and I was thinking, okay, I'm not really looking for anything, a flag anymore, because that started to show me a bit of a shift. I was still open to continuations though, and right here, despite this medium wick, despite this shift in momentum candle, maybe you could call it a soft shift, but I don't know. I set my pending order again over here. So on the high of this candle, 1 pip above with a 10 pip stop again, I set my pending order, and it didn't tag me in again. So now I'm seeing double wicks. On any other pair, if I was this confident price was going to move up, I'd probably leave my order on, to be honest, because that's just like, it's hardly double wicks, you know, that you could just say that's a small wick on the top. But on AU, double wicks are are a bigger warning sign than on other pairs, I've learned. So I removed my order at this point, and I think you would have been tagged in on this candle. Yeah, you would have been tagged in here, and price would have continued up to where we are now. So that could have been a nice winning trade. But me being cautious, these double wicks, big warning sign on AU. And yeah, we moved up kind of correctively, honestly. This is what people say when they say AU trends correctively, because we're breaking with pretty reasonable momentum candles, and we're retracing without showing massive shifts in momentum, to be honest. I mean, there's a bit of a shift here, but otherwise we're just kind of moving in this channel where the breaks are strong and the pullbacks are weak. That's what I would say about this price action here. But yeah, AU, 2 pending orders, no trades, unfortunately. So the next pair I want to talk about is GU, and there was a pending order I set here as well. And you can see it's quite similar. These USD pairs are really trending up at the moment. Just before I discuss the location I set a pending order, just when I was doing this, I noticed that there's actually a flag here. Now, you're probably thinking, that's not a flag, that's a sweep, right? Flags and sweeps are very similar. If you go on the 4-hour time frame, you'll see we literally have a perfect sweep over here. I mean, obviously on the 1 hour we were sweeping this low over here, but we've actually got a flag where this is the low over here, where that's the flag low. If I drop down, you can see this flag opportunity we got where we've got high, low, lower high, lower low, and then the entry candle. So very interesting to see how sweeps and flags on the higher time frame are kind of, the entries kind of coincide. I thought I'd mention that because I think directional sweeps can be really high probability if you consider them like higher time frame flags. So the place I set my order this week was right here. So I set my order 1 pip above. Normally I'd use a 10 pip stop on GU, but I think 10 pips was really small. So I set a 15 pip stop loss. So I don't think I really need to say much here. I mean, prior price action again, we've kind of got this larger descending. We've got this sweep of the low. We've had a very, very clear reaction in this area, kind of like a V shape, which is excellent. We've got this clear trend up. We're kind of struggling though, aren't we? We're moving up. We're moving a lot actually, but we're retracing as we go. So quite unusual price action. Eventually we paused, we had this range, but then we had this really nice impulse, small pullback, really nice impulse, small pullback, and I'm just looking to get involved in this trend basically. You could have set a pending order here for this continuation. Personally, I did not, because I felt that it would require quite a strong retrace candle to hit our entry, and that would actually show me a shift in momentum back to the downside. So I wasn't willing to set an order there unless we kind of came back quite slowly like this. So I managed to get in, managed to have an opportunity to set my pending order a little bit later though. This pullback candle is so nice, this breaking candle is so nice. I mean, this is just perfect price action. I'll invert this as well if you're interested. You can see we're in this huge trend. We've got very strong breaks, very small pullbacks. This is just perfect price action. And this is the kind of price action that I'm always waiting for when I'm trading. And it's why I have so few trades, because obviously the market is ranging like 70% of the time. So unfortunately, I think, would it have tagged you in after that wick? 5262, yeah. So if I were to have left my pending order on after this large wick like a crazy person, it actually would have tagged you in and moved into profit. But I'm playing it safe. There's a very large wick there. I don't want to be involved after that, because it's starting to show me that we may reverse or start slowing down soon, which we did. So I did the right thing in the end. All right, so now we're on EJ, and this is the pair where I actually took a trade this month. And again, it was last week when we were getting all this trending price action. And I actually set my pending order right here for a continuation. Now, normally I will try to only take trades which are 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. Honestly, I kind of feel like this one's maybe an 8.5. It's not one of my best trades. Obviously, it's a very good trade to be graded 8.5. But I wasn't super happy with the entry. I felt the entry could have been a little bit better. The main reason I took this trade is because I was very confident in my bias, and that is a bullish bias. I was very confident that we were going to come up and tap this high, which I think we ended up doing. But yeah, I'll tell you a little bit more about this trade. So first of all, I'm seeing that EJ is in this very large trend. We've been on this uptrend for a while. The JPY pairs have. Funnily enough, at the beginning of the week, I was actually looking for shorts, and I kind of considered this the top because we got this slowdown, we got all these wicks, and then we got a shift in momentum. And we know that the Euro pairs like to impulse from channels. So on a ascending like this, on a descending like this, an impulse down. And I was kind of seeing that we had this little descending here and that we were building momentum to the downside. So after this leg of momentum, I was looking for shorts. But I noticed that we got this really strong rejection here, that we started slowing down and ranging, which I was quite, I felt was quite interesting. And that kind of made me think, okay, this isn't the top. We're showing a slowdown. We broke this low, we retraced, we just didn't get the kind of follow through that I anticipated. Now I've got a pretty interesting bit of logic here. So when we get a V and a range, for example, this is a very high probability pattern to move higher in this case. When we get this price action, we're very confident that price is going to move up. So when we break this high and we don't continue higher, we actually reverse. This shows me a lot of seller strength, because there has to be a lot of sellers to kind of defeat this pattern, if you know what I mean. So when we get this move, I'm actually very confident now that price is going to be reversing back to the downside. And this is kind of my logic here, where we had this move down, we had this very high probability price action, where you're kind of building momentum to the downside. We've got this shift in momentum, we've got this descending, we've got this move down, but we didn't actually end up continuing. We actually ended up retracing, showing weakness, and moving in the opposite direction. So because this high probability price action for me was defeated by buyers, we actually ended up getting this strong move up instead. This was my sign that we're actually going to continue moving up. So I hope that makes sense. So because we didn't get the follow through, I was like, wow, that means there's a lot of buyer strength in the market. And I actually ended up deciding to get involved here in a continuation long. Now, one thing I wasn't really sure about on this trade was the fact that we're kind of in the middle of the high and low here, which isn't really a typical location for a continuation entry. It kind of feels like we're in the middle of a range. Now, I didn't mind this so much because obviously we're on this huge uptrend, and it kind of felt like getting in at a better price almost. If you imagine an uptrend, the best places to enter is obviously on the pullbacks, you know, and I was kind of seeing this as the high, this is the low. So rather than getting involved when we kind of break this high, and we're at the new high, where we're going to probably retrace and create a new low, I felt okay entering kind of in the middle of a pullback, if that makes sense. And I was just so confident that we were going to end up coming up and creating a new high. Now, let's see what happened. I'm sure you're very interested. So I got tagged in, we ranged around, I pulled my stop loss back during spread hours, we continued trickling up. Now bear in mind, on the 5 challenge, we just need 2 more $500 profitable trading days to be able to pass phase 1, because we're at the profit target, or we were. And so I was kind of, this level here, this 1-to-1, is basically my profit target. If we hit this level, I'm going to close the trade and we're at $500 on the day. So I moved my stop loss back during spread hours, which was these 2 candles. And then after spread hours, which was this candle, I put my stop loss underneath this low right here. So around there, 2 pips below. So now I'm reduced risk, which is great. Now I just need price to go up here, but unfortunately you can see we were about 2 pips away from hitting that $500 profitable trading day. Now the result on this trade was negative 0.31%. So it was a very small reduced risk loss. So that means for the month of June, I am down negative 0.31%, so basically break even. However, one thing I'm not mentioning is the fact that there were positive swaps, and Wednesday has triple swaps, so I think I'm actually in a slight profit. The swaps ended up making more than the 0.31% loss, I'm pretty sure anyway. But yeah, that was the trade I took in June. And you can see that at this point we did end up just ranging around, so we haven't quite made that high yet. Oh, we did, we made it there. So I just got involved a little bit early, it seems. So here we are in the 5 dashboard. You can see that we literally just need 2 more profitable trading days. If we hit those, hopefully we can get above the profit target as well, because that negative 0.31% loss actually took us slightly below the profit target, which isn't really a problem. I mean, we'll just continue trading because we need the profitable trading days anyway. And looking at the logs, you can see that I actually didn't make that much from swaps. I think it was on my personal account where I had quite a good amount of profit from swaps. But yeah, you can see this ended up being around a $200 loss. So yeah, we just need 2 more profitable trading days, and then we're into phase 2. Obviously, because I've just taken 1 trade, there's not really much in the stats for us to go over here. The win rate is still about the same. The best profit, biggest loss hasn't changed. So we'll go for another trading month. We'll see how it goes in July, and I'll make sure to keep you guys updated. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. Obviously, if you're on month 4 watching to the end, you probably watched the first 3 parts as well. So I really appreciate you guys following along this series. It means a lot. Comment this emoji to show me that you made it to the end. If you aren't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next month. Thank you so much, everyone.